Look, I know you're new here, so let me catch you up. Everything you love about Earth is gone. Your skinny, no-foam vanilla latte? Gone. Binge watching? Gone. Tuesdays, and if that wasn't enough, puppies. Or... not the puppies. I know, right? Who does that? I mean, I'm more of a cat guy, but still. Where was I? Everything is gone, except for the last city. And now, a psycho rhino named Gaul has come to take that away too. So it's time to bring out the big guns. It's not a metaphor, guys. Go grab some big guns. Because if we're going down fighting. Do it for the tower and the ramen shops. Do it for the loot they've taken from us. But most importantly, do it for the puppies!
Destiny 2, available September 6th.
Diabolical, the most dangerous, a beast slayer, a conqueror's conqueror, the goat of all goats, so that they say at the end of the match, the ultimate needle mover, the head of the table, the tribal chief, in God mode himself.
Destiny 2 in 2025. Is it worth playing in 2025? That's the reason you clicked on this video, and that's the reason I'm making this video, hoping to answer that question to its best ability. In this video, we'll be going over the good sides in 2025 and also the bad sides to playing the game in 2025. In Destiny 2's current content structure, Bungie has transitioned from the traditional seasonal model to an episodic format. Each episode spans approximately 4 months and is divided into 3 acts, each lasting about 6 weeks. This design aims to provide a more extended and immersive narrative experience compared to the previous seasonal approach. The latest installment, Episode Heresy, delves deep into the lore of the Hive Pantheon. This episode is structured into 3 acts, and each act introduces new story elements, activities, and gear, keeping the gameplay experience fresh and engaging. However, a significant highlight of Episode Heresy is the introduction of the dungeon Sunder Doctrine. This dungeon offers innovative mechanics and challenges, showcasing Bungie's commitment to creative and dynamic endgame content. The community eagerly anticipates these dungeon releases as they often become focal points for collaborative gameplay and competition. As Episode Heresy marks the conclusion of the current episodic roadmap, there is speculation within the community about the potential return of seasonal content or the introduction of a new content delivery model in the future, which we will talk about this a little more just in a bit. But I do want to just give some credit to Bungie out of my personal experience with the new dungeon, and just give full credit to how the experience went and the creativity involved, and also just watching my favorite creators.
Watch out if he pulls.
That's all my rockets, all you guys.
He's pulling, he's pulling, he's pulling.
He's pulling. He's running behind the thing.
Run off to the left, run to the left.
Kill him, kill him.
Come in.
Kill him, nice!
Nice.
Catch us and then we have
Come
to go.
on.
Yes, who's leader? Is it Big still? Who's it? No, it's me, it's me.
It's you, Luigi, it's you, Luigi. Chat on over.
Holy shit!
Holy fucking shit!
Holy shit! Is that fucking... There's no fucking way, dude. Holy shit!
I'm here with a whiteboard, old school style, and I'm here to deliver a visual, highly represented visual interpretation of how the content breakdown is in Destiny 2 in 2025, or most people will say since the game has ever came out, which I mean is fair to say as well. But right now, in every season or episode, we get one new activity, which currently in the episode of Heresy is the Nether. we get a new dungeon. Just look at my beautiful spelling, guys. We get some new weapons slash gear, and then it's more just changing the meta to force players from last season to now move on to newer, you know, mods, perks, or whatever the case is, to make your character more powerful and kind of just dominate in every single thing over here. And very little honorable mention for PvP, but nah. Now, to an average player, seeing what I've talked about so far, you'd probably think, hey, Destiny 2 doesn't sound that bad in 2025. You know, everything Proclaim's been talking about seems like it's really the deal, and maybe I should check it out. And just to be honest with you guys, this is where I gotta be brutally honest. And this is where I gotta be brutally honest. I mean, let's just check something out.
This is wild. Bungie has just had to disable a very particular fragment in Destiny 2 to prevent widespread error codes that a lot of people were complaining about. Another day in Destiny, a new expansion, and of course, it is riddled with more ridiculous error codes. Another expansion where you can't get into the game for hours. Over 10 years Bungie's been developing this game, and we still can't even get in these expansions. This is insane, Bungie. There was a huge game-breaking bug that happened during the dungeon race that's still actively happening that so many players are unaware of. This is your PSA. There is an Iron Banner bug. If you leave the match before the next activity starts, you're going to be met with this screen right here, which is going to give you a warning, match incomplete. The palindrome has just been reprised in Destiny 2, and there are 2 bugs with it that have already been found. This is insane. A new infinite special ammo glitch has been found in Destiny 2.
And this isn't no disrespect to Lucky 10p. He has a point. He's trying to show it to you guys. But what's even more funny is that when it's something that's benefiting the player base, then you get this.
Unbelievable, but not surprising from Bungie. Today there was an Eververse glitch, and if you know a little bit about glitches in Destiny 2, Bungie jumps on the Eververse glitches so fast. I mean, they get fixed in record speed time.
And that, my friends, is pretty much a summary of the current state of the game, what activities there are, what to expect, and basically what Bungie is going with in terms of the format. Hope you enjoyed that one. On to the next segment. A community can either make or break a game, and Destiny 2 is an interesting one, I should say. In 2025, as of recording this video, it currently has a 24-hour peak of 45,000 players, with the best peak ever being when Final Shape was released in summer of 2024 with 316,000 players all on at once. But as you can see in the spans of months, in the recent months, within a 6-month and a 3-month period, it tends that new content and new activities and new endgame material is what brings back players, but then it continuously falls off in a downward trend, and that's literally where the game is going right now. So that's pretty much how the player base is looking. The lowest it ever touched was a few months ago at 20,000 players, and it makes sense because you come back for most of the player base will come back from new games, new content, and then leave afterwards. But for a game that's been out since 2017, I gotta say 40,000 is still pretty good, and Destiny has always been known to have a really strong community. But when it comes to the community, I personally have a lot of things to say, and you'll see exactly what I mean in a second.
Happy Halloween.
You too.
D2 community celebrating a pagan holiday. Wow.
Imagine being toxic to people trying to be nice. LMAO.
Okay. Am not, but okay.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
Come here, boy! Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Huh?
Alright, all jokes aside, the community and player base in Destiny 2 is actually really playable. It's fine because of something called Fireteam Finder that was introduced during the season of the Wish, and this essentially allows you to team up with pretty much anyone for any activity. You can either create or search a listing, and it's great. Honestly, as a solo player myself, this has been huge, absolutely huge, and not gonna lie, the fire teams themselves are pretty good. Like, I've done raids through this method, so shout out to Bungie and Destiny for having this within their game. I think this allows the game to have a lot of longevity. Destiny 2 has always been known for its PvE, and even in 2025, it's still the strongest part of the game. The gunplay remains some of the best in any FPS. There's just something about Destiny's weapon feel, movement, and abilities that make every encounter satisfying. Now let's talk about where Destiny's PvE truly shines. If you haven't guessed, raids and dungeons. Bungie has a track record of delivering top-tier raid mechanics, and with content like Salvation's Edge, they've continued to push creative and mechanically deep encounters. These aren't just about shooting enemies, they require strategy, communication, and execution, which is why they remain pinnacle of Destiny 2's PvE content. Dungeons have also become a fan favorite. The latest one, like I said in the earlier of this video, Sunder Doctrine, brought a fresh approach with its mechanics, and its type of creativity keeps players engaged, and dungeon races have become a huge part of the community experience. Everyone looks forward to day one clears, flawless runs, and optimizing strategies. Moving on to PvE balance and sandbox changes, Bungie has also made some solid improvements when it comes to gameplay balance. Weapon tuning and subclass adjustments have kept PvE feeling fresh, and what I mean by that is every season they usually introduce new subclass abilities like we had in episode Hersey, or they'll change weapons constantly to, give certain exotics that have been shit for a really long time an opportunity to finally shine. So, mixing up the meta, mixing up build diversity and build crafting is very key in order to keep the game very, very fresh. These changes affect how we approach endgame content, creating more viable build diversity. That's exactly what I'm trying to say here. But that being said, some areas still need work. Strike playlists have gotten stale, and while Nightfalls are still a good source for rewards, they haven't evolved much outside of difficulty modifiers. Seasonal activities have followed the formula for years, as I was saying earlier of this video, and while episodes introduced a different structure, the core gameplay loop hasn't changed drastically. Now, another thing to mention is the enemy AI and challenge level. One area where Bungie could improve, in my opinion, is enemy, AI, and difficulty scaling. Grandmaster Nightfalls and Legend Lost sectors rely on enemy density and damage resistance rather than truly intelligent AI. It's still a challenge, but it often comes down to survivability rather than dynamic enemy behavior. So, my final thoughts on PvE. At its core, PvE in Destiny 2 is still one of the best cooperative FPS experiences out there, no doubt. The raids, dungeons, and build crafting keep it alive, but some aspects of the core playlist activities could use a refresh. If Bungie continues refining endgame content while bringing innovation to more casual activities, Destiny's PvE could stay strong for years to come. But is that enough to keep players engaged long term? That's the big question. Anyways, moving on to PvP, which is a whole different side of Destiny 2 and my personal favorite, because I think out of my 1,000 hours on this game, at least 700 of those hours have probably gone to PvP, if I'm being completely honest. And yeah, PvP in Destiny is definitely very unique. It has its own community, and there's just a lot, and I mean a lot, that goes with this, including fun times, clutch ups, and just really just enjoying the movement, gunplay, clutching up for your team, pulling off big things. It's just so addicting for people like me, and this is what.
Warlock, I mean weak. Warlock, I mean like literally one.
Oh.
He's just gonna keep shooting it. Local man.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it? I mean, that was the first time I ever had a big moment in PvP on Destiny, and I felt so good getting that type of reaction from my teammates. And I fell in love with one of its most popular game modes, Trials of Osiris. But that isn't it, because PvP also offers competitive game modes, normal control game modes, and some featured playlists which have a little twist to it, a little bit more just to experiment, have fun, and enjoy slapping some cheeks with your friends, because nothing is better than just being on an absolute rampage. And a lot of people literally only play this game just for PvP. There are content creators that are strictly just for PvP, so that says a lot about this side of the game. However, I do want to point out there is a significant difference between the amount of PvP players versus the amount of PvE players in Destiny 2, and that's always been a thing since even Destiny 1, honestly. But there have been some changes made in 2025, especially with reworks to competitive and trials. Now, these changes allow for more quality of life and the average player to participate more in these less featured activities or less competitive activities. And what I mean by that is the player count of the actual players in Trials of Osiris, competitive and PvP as a whole, is not as significant as, say, when a raid or dungeon drops, which that makes complete sense. I mean, you're not outperforming something like that. But what I'm trying to say here is they made some really good changes, and what I mean by that is for trials now they made it more accessible for people that are striving to get certain gear, certain loot, by making adept weapons more accessible and easier to obtain. What I mean is, instead of having to go flawless to even reach the lighthouse before trials got reworked, now everyone gets access to the lighthouse, and your rewards literally just vary depending on your streak, which I think is a really, really nice change. The reason I say that is because I have also been able to carry people, aiding them in terms of getting to the lighthouse when in the past they weren't able to. Me being a solo player, even for me, getting to the lighthouse was absolutely terrible some weeks, because just being solo, it's all RNG who you're paired up with. That is one thing that I really like about what Bungie is doing, just really looking at those quality of life changes. I gotta give them full credit for that, because they have also been doing the same thing with competitive modes. And in comp, there used to be an issue, and it's happened to me so many times, where if you join a game and your teammate leaves, you're still getting deducted points no matter what. But now there isn't no penalty. It's very beneficial. doesn't matter if you're also a solo player going up against a 3-stack, a 2-stack. They've been working on ways to compensate for all types of players, and I gotta respect that 100%. There'll be a good thing, there's gonna be some bad things, and that's where we talk about the toxicity and the cheating. You know, people are still cheating till this day in Destiny 2, full access to every single hack and cheating advantage that you could think of.
Love that.
Dude, he's got a YouTube channel? The Viper on YouTube? This is how he advertises his YouTube channel? What the fuck? Look at him, an epic gamer, right? This is so much fun. I love this. I'm having such a good time. I'm not playing. I'm eating my food. Or lower accurate Titan. Or lower accurate Guardian.
And within that, there's also just still, you know, toxicity within the community. As a new player, if you're playing something that's complete endgame like trials, you might get yelled at, you might have your teammates raging at you, typing in chat. You know, even I've experienced it when I've literally carried my team to win, and they're still telling me, oh, you know, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Instead of looking at the ultimate goal, which is winning. And it's just something that comes uniquely with every game, and I have no control of that. It's just the people who have control of that. But yeah, other than the cheating, I would say PvP is actually surprisingly in a decent state right now. Now, fellas, this leaves us with the future of Destiny 2. Something that a lot of people want to know, because a lot of people question every day, why should they even be playing? And we have details, but you know, things with Bungie are always subject to change. However, a lot of creators have gone over this. As many of you know, there is something called Codename Frontiers, which is essentially showcasing the roadmap for 2025 and beyond. And a lot of people covered it, but just to summarize, what Bungie is essentially moving towards is the transition to episodic content. Bungie is moving away from traditional seasonal updates, introducing a new episodic structure. Each episode will span approximately 4 months and be divided into 3 acts, each lasting around 6 weeks. This approach aims to provide a more cohesive and immersive storytelling experience. Next, we have the introduction of medium-sized expansions. Starting in 2025, Bungie plans to release 2 medium-sized expansions annually, and this is in Frontiers, accompanied by 4 major free content updates. This shift is designed to offer players more frequent and varied content, moving away from the previous model of 1 large expansion per year. And then they're also experimenting with new formats, including Armor 2.0. But essentially, Bungie is exploring innovative gameplay formats such as rogue-like elements and survival shooter mechanics to diversify the Destiny 2 experience that we're all used to by now. These experiments aim to refresh gameplay and attract a broader audience. Like I said, we don't really know too much, but shout out to Llama for making a video kind of covering as many details as possible that we have till date. So I would recommend checking out his video on this. But the other thing that's very important to Bungie is enhanced player engagement. The upcoming expansions, codenamed Apollo and Behemoth, are set to introduce new stories, locations, missions, raids, and dungeons. Bungie also plans to implement changes to the game's activity, UI, and challenge customization system to improve player guidance and reward systems. Now, this is what we have pretty much for Bungie coming in 2025. The state of the game right now is pretty good, like I said. However, nothing is guaranteed. We can all just wish that with all the negatives that have occurred, for example, people getting laid off, not as many people working on the game, and that leading to more bugs in the game right now, or you know, when it's a lot more all over the place when Bungie tries to push out content, we can all just hope that the future is something where Bungie would rebound, and yeah, do what they always want to do, which is surprise in a good way. But yeah, guys, that pretty much summarizes the future of the game. Like I said, many other content creators have made videos about this, and you know, I don't really want to go too in detail, but if you want to stick around and you want to keep playing the game, or you want to get into the game in 2025, that is gonna happen. Codename Frontiers is something that's gonna happen. Expansion sizes are not going to be as significant though, so guys, just keep that in mind. Thank you very much.
Guardian down.